Hey guys, it's Murph from server 962. Today I just wanted to kind of talk about your skill chips on your drone and really talk about, kind of where to focus. It's kind of more of like an updated video to my first video. I was kind of a little bit of a noob whenever I first made that first one. Still had a lot of good information in it, but I just want to kind of revamp it, now that I've spent a lot more time and effort into understanding the drone and those skill chips per se, right? So I think in some time of season one, your skill chip factory, your chip lab will unlock, and then inside your drone, you'll actually unlock, instead of just having the attributes in the component, you'll have the combat boost and the skill chip tabs inside the drone. So I just want to talk about what this looks like, kind of what to prioritize, how to get your combat boost level up, and then really, how I operate my skill chips on a daily basis, and maybe what even events you need to focus on if you want to if you want to spend some money and upgrade them pretty quickly. Okay. So first things first is once the chip lab comes out, the first thing that you're really going to focus on, guys, is going to be, just creating chips in the first place. You have your first tier always unlocked from the get-go. I can't honestly remember all of the levels. I think it's like you get level 1, the first chip set, out the box. I think level 2, I think you get it for like level 100 or 150 or something like that. You get the third skill chip set at level 300, and then you don't unlock the fourth until 450. So that's what I'm actually working on right now. But getting to those milestones to unlocking these skill chips, not only does it unlock you these other skill chip sets, we can have them on multiple squads, but it also just gives you a massive drone increase, right? So when I finally unlocked my level 3 or my third skill chip set, I think my drone overall after that, the bonus of me adding the chips on, I think I got over almost 1 million drone power just from having that third chip set unlocked. And I'm expecting kind of the same here when I get to 450. So out the gate, what you guys should focus on is just at least, you're probably, when that chipset unlocks, is there's going to be like a drone chip battle pass or whatever there might be. There's an event that you can get a bunch of chip material, right? So there's only two types of chip material. There's the stuff for the purple and there's stuff for the gold, right? Of course, we all just want the gold stuff, of course, right? Now, as you start through the game, at the very beginning of the game, guys, you guys are going to be most of you guys are going to be tank squads because that's just how the game progresses, right? Now, for me, I made a change pretty, early, and I swapped to air because I just wanted to be able to counter all of those tank squads and beat them easier, right? So when it came to the skill chips, I knew that my main focus was going to be on my air squad skill chips, right? So once you guys get the materials, and you guys can get the materials from a plethora of ways, from some of the stores, you can get them from, your Alliance store. You can get some of the XP cards. You can get these blue chests out of the Alliance store after a certain level. You can get them out of the Honor store, which I would not recommend that you do. I think the only thing you should buy out of Honor store is the legendary blueprints out of there. The campaign store, you can get a lot out of here. You can get these purple materials out of here. You get this purple chest. You can get a bunch of I think they're green here. And then you can also get them out of, like right now we're doing Ghost Ops, so you can get them out of your Ghost Ops boxes and things like that for some of the tasks. So pay attention to that. And there's just a plethora of ways that you guys can get them, But kind of how I would start it off, guys, is just only like all the materials that you guys get, right? So say you don't have any gold chips yet, you only have purple. All of your purple chips are just going to go onto your main squad, right? So skill chip set 1, I'm an air squad. So all my skill chips that I buy and build or whatever, they all go into air, right? So you can see most of my air chips are almost at 5-star and just missing 1 here. Could get this up to 5-star, and I kind of honestly I go through the rotation. I get them all to the same level, and then I start at the middle initial move, and then to damage, and then to defense. Sometimes I upgraded based on my RNG is just some of my luck, it's just kind of random. So for example, guys, I focus heavily on air because I'm an air squad main. My tanks get some pretty good love. They're all at 3-star. They're there. I don't really focus on them too much because everything I have I put into air. But you're starting to see I have a lot of these prerequisites starting to get created and finished here, just based off of me opening some of those chests and getting some legendary chips unlocked. Now, I don't ever use my missile squad for really anything except for gathering, so on and so forth. But look, this is what's crazy is that you just see the RNG is that I've never created one of these chips. These are all chips that I've just gotten from opening skill chip chests, so on and so forth. And I actually upgraded one to 4-star yesterday, which is insane. It's higher than my tank squad. So just focus all of creating all those, using those materials here. You need 800 of the gold to create a gold chip, and just put it onto the skill chips that you're closest to upgrading per se. But if you're all pretty close to around the same level, I would always recommend you do that initial move. Okay. And if you kind of go into each of these previews, you can kind of see what they're upgrading, right? So the star overview tab kind of confused me at first, but this right here is they all go up to 10 stars, of course. It tells you what happens and where the major upgrades are at for you to see really kind of where you should be focusing on, right? For me, the initial move is huge because it gives you that massive shield. After you get it to 2-star, once the shield wears off, reduce all damage received by your heroes by 8%. So that's pretty crazy. And then now since I got them all to 5-star, I got this one to 5-star. It's once the shield wears off, I now have a bigger shield, but now once it wears off, I have a 12% damage reduction to those heroes. Now the skill boost, this is a little different. This is kind of like I said, the first few levels, to unlocking these at the certain tiers, level 100, level 150 or whatever it is, and then to unlock the third skill chip set is at level 300, and the fourth is at 450. So this is kind of telling you what those differences are. A lot of us probably aren't going to be seeing that level 450 for a while unless you're spending a ton of money. I spend a decent amount of money, and I think I'm only at level 375 in combat boost. But let's actually talk about combat boost now and kind of how to level those up as fast as possible. So first things first, this is a lot kind of like gear, right? So once you get all of your chips to gold, I mean, guys, it's very rare that you would have a purple chip in any case that would be better than a gold chip, right? It's kind of like your gear. You could have a maxed out purple, gun, but it's gonna be way worse than even just a level 0 Thor, gold gun, right? Even at level 0, it's gonna probably be better for you in most cases because it's just better, right? So once you get all of your skill chips to gold, then you no longer use or create use any purple chips, right? We've even tested this. Some people in my alliance have used the purples are pretty easy to upgrade because you get so much of the material and it doesn't cost as much. And you can get them up even to the red stars, like levels, 6, 7 stars, but they're still even like a 3-star gold chip is going to be better than a level 7-star purple chip, right? But where you can use those chips and those purple chip materials, I'm not saying that you don't need to buy them. I would still buy them out of like your weekly stores and use them to create chips and then just deconstruct them to create, combat, things like that. So what you can do is anytime you have the material, I don't have any material right now, but I would go and ensure that you do. I honestly don't know if it matters if you have 800, if you get more for deconstructing that, but I always was like, I'll just do 2 of the ones that cost 400 chip material. And I create those, and then after you create them, you can go into the combat boost and hit quick add, and it'll add all those random XP chests and so on and so forth. Or you go to the plus button here and manually select all of those. I'm sorry, I don't have any here for an example. I probably should have waited till I had some, but you guys get the point. Now, when it comes to opening your chest, of course, you should open these every Sunday, like the very first week of VS, because that's when you get the points for them. But for me, honestly, I just open them all the time because I always know I'm going to get all of my boxes on Sundays anyway, on every day anyways. But they're very, very powerful. But if I were to go into, which ones you should upgrade first, I think it's always going to be the initial skill move. But really, the answer after that, guys, is just whatever one you're closest to upgrading, right? I think that the top one is probably gonna help a lot with your attack. This one right here helps a lot with reducing damage from all the tactics, and then of course this one's just your shield and reducing damage from the get go. It really has a huge boost. So this one right here is my front row is gaining an extra 30% boost until the end of the battle. And that's really, really powerful. Now, when it comes to setting up your skill chips, so on and so forth, make sure that they're applicable to the correct squad. So as you guys can see down here, for example, you might want to put these chips on for code, but if you don't have all 3 of your skill chip sets unlocked, maybe only have 1 or 2, but you're going to attack your missile, use your missile squad or whatever to do damage to code or maybe even to your honorable campaign. Make sure that whenever you're going to your squads, you can either come here and click on this button here, and you can edit, which one you want to have, like what skill chip sets, right? And that's really important. And it's not only do you have to do it on this screen, but say you're doing it in your honorable campaign, you have to ensure that whenever I can't show you an example because I already finished all mine, but whenever you go into your honorable campaign, you have to hit that same little chip button to ensure that you have the right chips set attached. And it also goes the same for your trucks. I can actually do an example here. Hold on. On your trucks, you can come, when you come in here, a lot of us don't really update these, but you should, and you have to actually change those presets inside your trucks. You have to make sure they're all good and also in your arena. You have to ensure whenever you have your defense that you have the right thing selected. So if I accidentally selected, here I have all my tank chips on here, I'm not getting any of those benefits because I don't have any tank heroes. So just ensure that you have the right chips set for the heroes, the squad that you're using per se. Now, after all of that, guys, and realistically, the best way to upgrade your hero, like to upgrade that combat boost, is just ensuring that you buy, especially these XP cards and opening all these chests and so on and so forth, and getting that combat boost level up as high as you can. That's going to show you a massive increase. But for the events that you want to focus on to upgrade your skill chips faster and get that combat boost level up higher, there's a couple good ones. Right now I'm actually have a current one here, so it's actually Total Mobilization's a pretty good one, and also Glittering Market, of course. But for me, basically this week, I didn't have a ton of money to spend this week, but I spent $100 on the Total Mobilization here, and with that, when I buy the $100 pack, not only do you get some of these awesome UR chests, you get 200 tickets. But then I got all the way over here to the third squad, or the third tier. So with a $100 purchase, I got 200 tickets from here. I got 100 tickets from up here, 40 tickets there, 60 tickets there, 20 tickets there. So I got 360 tickets for $100, right? And from that, I actually went through and I bought a bunch of these chip materials, right? So for 7 tickets, you can get 100 of the chip material. So you would need to spend, if you don't have any chip material, you would need to spend 80 or 56 tickets to get a full chip. And that's a pretty good deal. Now, there is only a limit on these, but I'm at the point right now where I can spend another $100 and still be able to upgrade another chip right now. So I'm okay with that. Now, when it comes to the actual chip lab, again, just ensure that whenever you're creating chips that you have, that you're on the right tab, right? You don't want to build a chip and then, because it's not Light Gear, where if you were to deconstruct it or consume it for combat boost, you do not get that material back. And if it's gold, you can't use it for combat boost at all. So you can only use these purple chips for combat boost increases. So if you accidentally make the wrong chip, you're kind of SOL. You're out of luck there, and there's nothing that you can do. You just have to wait till you get enough material to create another one. Okay. And then another good place that you can get those materials at is that whenever the hot deals comes out for, your weekly passes, when the drone pass comes out for $20, that is for sure by far the best value that you can get for the drone. That is my favorite pass. That is like, I don't even think about it. I spend the $20 on that all day, every day. on that drone battle pass or weekly pass, whatever it might be. And yeah, guys, it makes a huge difference, you know. So, for example, it's like anything in this game, you know, if you're going up against someone that's in your pretty similar level, but they'll have all level 4 skill chips, and you have all level 5. That's probably going to be the edge. That's probably going to push you over the edge to help beat them in that battle. And it can actually help you hit up as well, right? So it's very, very important, and that's where you can kind of see some of the massive increases. And maybe I'll do a couple of attacks right here real quick to kind of show you where, you know, what that looks like. I haven't done my attacks yet today, but you know, I'm almost a 32 million air squad, so I'm going to be looking for some people that are pretty similar to me. Maybe I'll do this guy here. I'll do this guy right here. Again, my skill chip set is on the right preset, and I'm going to demolish this guy because he's a tank user. You know, he's got his Kim leveled up pretty good. My squad is just going to beat him. Look, my squad hasn't even taken damage yet because of those shields from the initial moves. They'll see those blue shields there. And look at that. I mean, this guy's over a 30 million tank squad. Yes, with the counters and stuff like that, it's great. Dude, I didn't lose like any troops there. Just complete and utter domination. And I'll actually kind of go to that report to kind of show you what that would look like in the reports and kind of how you can see where others are at. So when you go into the records here, I can click on the battle. It shows you obviously all the information that you want to see, but then it comes out to, I think in the army section, it shows you where their skill chip level is at. So look at this. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This person's drone is at level 145. Mine's at level 135. So you would think their drone is just way stronger than mine. It's not. And it's not because, look at this. I mean, we have all the same component levels. They're all around, you know, level 8. But I have 19 chip stars because I have, you know, 3 level 5s and 1 level 4. He's only got 11 because they're 3 at level 3 and 1 at level 2. And my combat boost level is 80 levels higher than his. Right? So even though his drone's level is 10 levels higher than mine, that's a ton and ton and ton of drone parts to level it up. The skill chips and that combat boost level is what has elevated me to have a higher drone power. Mine's at 7.3 million, his is only 6.8. So that's kind of where you're kind of seeing a lot of that. Some of it also comes from your drone components itself. But it's great. And the great thing is, guys, is that when you're doing any of these upgrades, you want to focus on the things that help all of your heroes or, you know, just your main squad. So these skill chips, they help my entire air squad, you know, kind of no matter what. It's a great way to look at it. Yeah, so that's a lot of it, guys, and that's kind of where you can see, you know, how much damage is taken. You know, the equivalent. It's a massive increase, and this is one of the things that you really need to focus on early, and just ensure that you're focusing just on your main squad and not spreading the love. That's where a lot of people make the same mistakes. And once you continue to, you know, just focus on that one squad that you have, just kind of go all in on it. Now, if you're going all in on it on a tank squad, going into season 1 or season 2, you can have your skill chips as high as a level as you want, but if you kind of go up someone that's an air squad, they're going to beat you every time. So my recommendation for everyone is just go air as soon as you can, as soon as you unlock all those heroes, and, you know, kind of go from there. And then you might pivot to missile or tank later on in the game. That's where the tank kind of comes back, is when everyone goes missile, and you can kind of go on that tank perspective again, because you're winning the counter again. Right now, this person right here, like, I'm actually going to challenge Fergus here. We actually, even though I'm much higher, you know, I'm almost 1.3 million. This person beats me a lot, right? And I don't know why in some cases, but let's attack this person here now and kind of see what this person's skill chips look like, and maybe that's a big part of the game as well. But you can see we're pretty balanced, and we're both taking a lot of the same damage, you know, come from the initially. I think a lot of the reason why I lose to this person sometimes is the stuns from Skylar, which you cannot control. You can see all those skill chips looking, boom, just doing massive damage. And look at that. Even though I'm over 1 million power stronger than Fergus, I still barely won that battle. So let's kind of look at that battle report and see what that looks like. to someone more evenly matched with the same type of level. So a big portion of it is going to be gear. Fergus has got me beat on gear. Fergus also has all of their skills maxed on all of their air heroes, so that's probably a big reason why I'm continuing to barely win. But if we go to their skill chips, yeah, they're a little bit more closely matched. They're a little bit lower level than me. And honestly, if Fergus were actually to get a couple of those chips up to 3-star, get that last defensive one to 3-star, it would probably help them a lot. But that's why it's getting a little bit closer there. It's only 600,000 damage difference, and it makes it it's not always a for sure win per se. So focus on those skill chips, guys. That's going to be one of your biggest advantages, especially at the beginning when skill chips first come out, into beating other players. Okay? If you have any other questions, please just drop it in the comment. Please like, share, subscribe. I just hit over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm really thankful for all of you guys. And just let me know down in the comments if you think I'm just completely wrong. A lot of people like to do that, be negative out here. I'm just really trying to help people out because there's just not a lot of content really being made, on specific things. So let me know if there's anything else to help you guys out with, what other videos you guys want to see, and I'll get moving on them. I'll start making some more kind of going forward. So Murph from 962 out. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.